Hello, everyone, and welcome to another movie commentary. Today we're doing Coraline, a very good
Yay.
movie. Yay.
Mm-hmm.
A very good movie with a very good book that it's based off of, including an incredibly scary graphic novel and a piss poor video game tie-in.
Oh, there's always got to be one dud, I guess.
This was actually Laika's first film.
Hmm,
We did the
did not
original
know that.
we did the original commentary a while ago. Don't remember how much, but it wasn't the full team anyway. So might
I think
as
it was a
well.
long time ago.
For those who
Long
Yeah.
forgot,
time and was without me.
for those who forgot, I mean, the studio known for Cubo and Paranorman.
Yes, this is a movie made by the makers of Nightmare Before Christmas. What?
Specifically, Henry Selick. While Henry Selick, it is important to remember that while Henry Selick did direct The Nightmare Before Christmas, the one actually creatively in charge was still Tim Burton, to be fair.
Honestly,
I think Jova's more making a joke about how this was advertised, I guess.
but you know what,
From the director of, well, technically it's not a lie. It is from the director of Nightmare Before Christmas.
I don't know.
Hey, it was a
And from what I've seen, Selick has no hard feelings about the fact that people mainly came to see this thinking it was Tim Burton, because honestly, the advertising worked twofold. One, it wasn't false advertising, and two, hey, if people were interested to see something like Nightmare Before Christmas, which, yeah, Burton was particularly famous for at the time, why not get him in there? And this helped make Selick develop a name for himself in the long run, because this movie was so big that it was the third highest grossing stop motion film of all time after Chicken Run and Wallace and Gromit: The Curse of the Were-Rabbit. That's right, they were up with flipping Aardman. That's a pretty good start considering how, yeah, this was Laika's first studio feature film.
And it was an adaptation.
yes.
only
I
thing-
can mention more as the movie starts. Actually,
The
Go
only
on,
thing
Liz.
they,
It's
the
my
only thing
pleasure.
they did before this was doing animation work for Corpse Bride. So technically, Jova, there's another good reason for why they fought Tim Burton, because Laika had worked for Tim Burton before this.
And I'll admit, even without Tim Burton, this movie really does feel like a Tim Burton production.
Yeah, you can understand the confusion a bit.
All right. So where should we start, Shiri?
Which logo are we starting with?
Focus Home Entertainment.
Okay.
Produce feature, whatever it's called.
Yes. Start right before that logo. You might have to skip ahead a little bit, depending, but we'll count you in, I guess. So if everybody's ready, then
Go on.
3, 2, 1, click.
One did I have to pick Wendell and Wild, aka the new Harry Selick movie from 2022.
Have you
All
seen
right.
it?
Yes.
The original story was actually wrote by someone you probably have not heard that much. A random guy called Neil Gaiman. I don't know. Henry Selick was a fan of Neil Gaiman and actually met the guy at just as the Coraline novel was finished. And in turn, Neil Gaiman was a fan of Nightmare Before Christmas. So basically, this collaboration was kind of match made in heaven for them.
It's literally
That's good.
It's literally each other meeting their heroes.
Oh, look at that, Blips. Travis Knight was the lead animator.
Let's see.
The music was done by Bruno Coulet. He's a French composer.
Mm-hmm. For those who don't know, Travis... Sorry, go on.
He's mainly done, obviously French movies. And from what I understand, this was one of his more rare excursions into British film. Sorry, into Western, other movies outside of France.
Sure.
We begin with body horror of sorts.
Yeah, don't you see, Sherry? It's just a harmless doll.
It's a bit of doll surgery there.
Yeah.
It's like that early video from Z Frank about Teddy getting an operation.
I suppose I have to give this doll maker credit. They seem to be very good at recycling materials.
Yes, Pedro.
Travis Knight is the lead animator for this. He's also the head of Laika.
So, for this movie, we have quite a cast. Dakota Fanning, Terry Hatcher, yes, Lois Lane, Jennifer Saunders, Dawn French, Keith David, John Hatchman, Robert Bailey Jr., and Ian McShane, no less.
Although for the sake of saying something more recent, Terry Hatcher is also known for Desperate Housewives.
Neat.
Let's see. The movie came out in February of 2009 and budget 60 million, box office 131.8. So technically double, but probably still not a lot.
Oh yeah, right.
I'll need to check later what was competing it with.
Oh sure. It's not my favorite stop motion movie from 2009, but it's still great.
Oh.
That whole intro scene is like the Toy Story 2 one, but a lot more sinister.
Yeah.
I haven't seen yet.
Walter, look at the bright side. At least this movie made money, unlike Mary and Max. So.
Or Kubo and the Two Strings.
Yeah, true.
Rip.
It was the cure I needed after seeing Ben-Hur that day. I'm signing your pink slip. You're fired. I take your pay with you.
It's more of a tip, but still a cheapskate move.
That's his pay. Now fuck off.
And there's our leading lady, Coraline, played by Dakota Fanning.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, even at this point, Dakota Fanning playing a precocious child. Never seen that before.
And yet somehow this being made of clay still has more life in it than the character she played in the Twilight movies.
Well, I could have said instead Spielberg's War of Awards. She screams all the fucking time in that movie.
Well, hence why I said this one has more life. Like, she was full of life in those movies. Not the best, but I digress.
I mean, to be fair, her character is a vampire, so she's supposed to be dead. So being lifeless is not necessarily out of place.
Tell that to Michael Sheen.
True.
Tail. There's one thing I've learned is that you do not tell Michael Sheen what to do. He just does things.
So that vampire was just so powerful that he could emote unlike anyone else in that story.
Like I said, too, I'm still convinced the reason he did that thing in the final Twilight movie was because he turned to the guys. I'm gonna see when they stop me. I'll bet you anything they don't. I'm the only award-winning actor in this thing. Do you really think they're gonna tell me to stop?
I'm just
go on. I haven't read the original source material for this. I know Dominic Noble has a video on this, but I haven't actually checked. I probably should have in preparation. So actually, I don't know how many differences there are with the source material.
I remember, I think Neil Gaiman liked this movie.
Neil Gaiman is the kind of person also that allows creative difference when it comes to adaptation. Something like Stardust. What's the name? The story about gods in modern times. And of course, the Sandman.
Oh yeah,
comes to mind.
There's a fun fact about that.
I said, not skeleton on motorbike.
Did you kill Sam Fisher for that visor?
Maybe. Sure. I mean, that would explain why we haven't gotten a new game from him in a while, but...
Shame he's not actually voiced by Michael Ironside.
Okay, so originally the script was supposed to be a lot more one-to-one with the book, but it was actually Neil Gaiman who insisted that they make some changes, so... Well, if it's just like the book, people will probably read the book, so... Add in some changes.
There's also a bit here that says that Aaron Selleck expanded the story because if he just did a straight adaptation, the movie will only be 47 minutes long.
Yeah, I think actually the original was a short story.
Now, I've read the graphic novel adaptation, which, from what I can recall, is a more one-to-one take on the book, just, comic book and pictures, so...
Neil Gaiman is the kind of person that loves to tell sort of modern variations of fairy tales and modern fairy tales as a whole. So this kind of story also fits that.
One thing I can tell you from the get-go, this kid here, YB, he is movie original. Was not in the original book.
It's for the sake of giving Coraline a friend.
Well, Pedro, there is a way you could pad the movie out from 47 minutes to this runtime.
Okay, shoot.
Freeze the movie in the middle for nearly an hour and then play the movie again.
Oh my God, Dubs, that's brilliant. I wonder why Harry Selick didn't just do that.
Is it?
Also,
Why didn't he do that? Is he
Don't
stupid?
don't give don't
It's
give Hollywood
experimental.
don't give
No,
Hollywood new ideas, Dweebs.
That would be quite funny. You're watching the movie in theater. Suddenly, halfway, the movie just pauses and it stays there for like 40 minutes, and you're just wondering what the hell.
I'm sure
It's thinking time.
I'm sure there's some form of experimental Eastern European movie that is kind of like that.
His full name is Wyborn, of course.
Let me see. When it comes to competition, when this came out, the other things in theaters were RCD Dreams, Fanboys is Just Not That Into You, what a title. The Pink Panther 2, I don't know how much that one, and a movie that I actually do know about instead, Push, a superhero movie with also Dakota Fanning in it.
2009 in general was actually a great year for animated movies. This, Mary and Max, Claudia and Chance of Meatballs, Up, Princess and the Frog.
Ah, shit, it's raining.
Interesting transition.
That's nice, honey. That's nice. Yeah. There
Yeah.
you go. See.
No.
Okay, that was good. But you know what I would have done if I was writing it? I would have her write. I would have the mother say, "Well, you learn by experimenting, honey."
I mean,
Hey, yeah, you know by accident. You know what I mean by that, right?
Yes. Accident, quote unquote.
By the way, Mom, I met this boy and I decided to strangle him dead. Yeah, that's nice, honey. That's nice.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm sure he had it coming.
What a great
interesting. I forgot about this. The fact that usually the thing about the characters is looking at a piece of something written on it, and there's a voiceover that's simulating what they're reading about. Usually that happens only in foreign dub. Oh, so this one of the memes. Yeah, I think I already made the joint user commentary, but yeah, that's kind of like how I feel when I have to edit these things.
Is your posture that bad too?
Oh, of course. It's the gamer posture.
Christ, that neck though, that has to ache.
Also, mate, you could get typing done a lot quicker if you used more than just your big fingers.
It's like Gutierrez in Freakazoid. Oh, I'm such a lousy typist. He's one of those dudes, very lousy typist that types like this. One key, another key, another
One
key.
key at a time. You get work done a lot faster. Learn to touch type.
The father is played by John Hart.
Yeah, learn from Shiro here.
Yeah, learn to touch type.
Oh, this was actually one of his early movie roles. Oh, great, he was in movie 43. Then again, a lot of people were in movie 43.
Like, that movie got even freaking Hugh Jackman in it. Like, I mean, okay, and knowing the development history behind that movie, I'm not too surprised they got those people. I'm sure a lot of those people grew to regret it.
Well, it's the thing. Hugh Jackman said yes to Chappie. So if there's one thing I've learned is that Hugh Jackman doesn't exactly have good standards for what movies he does.
Gross.
Yeah, the pipe work has to be worked out on. Coldest Capelli, they usually are on time.
One of my favorite moments in our movie commentaries is our Chappie commentary, where we spend a lot of time without Hugh Jackman showing up, even though he's supposed to be the villain.
That's also how I feel if a blackout happens.
I didn't save the document, now I have to do it all over again.
Basically.
Old computers. Well, granted, even newer computers can sometimes have that issue. Nowadays, there seems to be a random autosave feature.
remember, Notepad to this day still doesn't autosave your document regularly, so it's just...
Oh yeah, I'm referring more so to Microsoft Office Word, admittedly.
So what was I?
Office does that, but like the
complaining
free
about
programs don't. That's
Yes,
the-
So I was complaining about Hugh Jackman not being in the movie, and then
there's a shot of Hugh Jackman's back, and I'm like, there we go. There's a shot of Hugh Jackman's back, and you were like, oh.
Yeah.
Unlike with video games, I do not trust the autosave feature on computer apps.
Don't blame you.
Oh, look, it's the tiny door from Phantasmagoria 2.
I hope it certainly is not like that experience, because Coraline is clearly not the person that should go through that.
You know, given what happens in this movie, I have to wonder if she had it better or worse than York. Okay, so might as well know the difference from the book to the movie, essentially. In the book, the parents aren't as outwardly jerkish to Coraline, at least from her perspective, although they do act way more aloof of her existence, to the point where the issue wasn't so much that Coraline was at odds with them, but you'd think they were acting like they didn't have a daughter at all. The movie mixes things up by definitely making them seem more aggravated with Coraline. However, there's a reason for that. Recently, Mom got into an accident, as you can tell by the massager around her neck, and that is...
She did mention it, yeah.
They just got a new house, and as you can imagine, the finances aren't the biggest, especially since their profession is from writing catalogs. So they're in something of a stressful position, as it is.
What the hell is that? Is that that jelly food that's very common in America?
Maybe it tastes better than it looks.
I hope so.
Until you just pointed this out now, because of the color of the brace compared to the shirt, I thought she was wearing a turtleneck all these years.
Oh, trust me, I thought that for a while too, but... Given Coraline does mention stuff like the accident and whatnot, yeah, I eventually did notice, and yeah, that's like a brace for her neck.
Alright,
Yes.
it's been a while since I've seen this movie, but is the plot going to be Coraline escapes from her shitty parents?
No. Well, yes.
It's more complicated than that.
The answer is yes and no.
See, the idea is that from Coraline's perspective in here, her parents treat her like crap. On the other hand, the parents are in a very stressful situation. It's the kind of movie that would show you both perspectives of a side. And I will say this, having gotten to see this as both a kid and adult, oh boy do I get both perspectives all too well.
It's mentioned here, but Henry Selick's biggest inspiration from this was, of course, The Wizard of Oz. He even invited, Japanese illustrator Tadahiro Uesugi, to be the concept artist. Boy, you can make an argument that there's also parallel to Alice in Wonderland.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. I will argue it's much more akin to Alice in Wonderland than Wizard of Oz.
Just, without the drugs and the political commentary.
I'm not entirely certain about that too. There's still a lot of trippy aspects about this movie too.
Also, what is cute? That kind of mouse is usually a desert one.
Well, maybe that's your sign that
Are
there's
they bad
something else.
news?
Whoa!
It's a mouse from another dimension. I don't think it cares about terrain.
Okay, also, another change from the book. This tunnel... Okay, in the book it's hinted that this tunnel might be something very much alive. Like, now it looks cool and all, and, you know what happens later. In the book, nah, that thing was always creepy. Like, it creeped out even the folk from this world.
It does move in kind of a fleshy way.
Yeah, it almost looks like an intestine instead of an intestine.
Here's a Henry Selick joke. Hey, Jova, I'm surprised her head didn't increase in size from going through that tunnel.
Okay. So suddenly we seem to be in a much more colorful version of the world. With a change. And yeah, there's a slight difference. She doesn't have a giant thing around her neck as opposed to a regular turtleneck now.
Oh. Wait, but that's... okay. I'm going to love to see the explanation for this.
Well, it's an alternate parallel world, Webs. I think that's pretty clear.
Oh, and the other father now is a pianist. Or I guess just a musician in general.
His posture is consistent across the universes.
The singing voice for the other father instead provided by John Lionel. Yeah, proper musician.
Huh, interesting lyrics. I wonder if those are foreshadowing anything.
Nah, it's just a fun little song.
Cute.
Damn, even for stop motion, for small stop motion, the food always looks great.
The food has to be the best looking thing in any animated thing.
One can only imagine what kind of clay they used to make it look that delicious.
Or how long it took.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if it's the same clay Aardman used to make cheese look as good as it does.
Might be. Literally.
What's oh, I thought it was going to be gravy. What's gravy? Gravy doesn't exist. Ah!
God, what a terrible nightmare that would actually be.
It's the idyllic, alternate universe where everything is better and nice, but gravy doesn't exist. It's the coldest
I hate it here.
Something's going to be wrong with this world, isn't it? Nothing's this perfect.
I don't know what you're talking about, Lives. Look, everything is fine. In fact, everything is great.
Welcome home.
Well, yeah, there's in my country we have a saying that if when a bum is asking for money in the street and he gets like a super huge tip, he gets suspicious.
Jigsaw killer.
That ring.
Is it just me, or did one of those lightning strikes look like a hand?
So this is a parallel world where everybody has buttons for eyes.
And everyone's an other something here.
I have to wonder, what exactly is Joshua thinking with this particular composition of this world?
He was drunk.
I guess.
No, I don't mean this bit. Whatever.
It also begs the question, if this is a parallel world where, there are others in general, why is there no other Coraline?
Good question.
They killed her.
Cat squid.
Is there a cat squid in Splatoon?
Hmm?
Is there a cat squid in Splatoon?
Not a hybrid, no.
Perfect. The drugs we put in her tea have already taken effect.
We're just gonna stay here watching you sleep creepily.
Yeah, why? Oh. Well, it was all a dream.
Mhm.
Was it?
Drugs are going to be like some sort of mind control thing to keep her there.
Stay with us, Coraline. Forever
and
ever.
But
Now,
yeah,
now that's the real magic. The fact that a poison oak irritation can just go away in the middle of the night.
That's nice, honey.
This is why you get up off the chair every so often to walk around.
You're supposed to change position of your body every 2 hours.
Exactly. So go bother them instead of me.
Basically.
You're as cuckoo as they are.
that's it. Spink and Forcible. Those aren't provocative names at all.
Nope.
There you go.
Why were you sniffing the post?
She noticed first the smell and she wanted to know where it was coming from.
It's interesting as well because Henry Selick's movie before this was. I haven't seen Monkey Bone. Have any of you guys?
Oh, I have.
I've seen
It's,
reviews, but never the whole
It's quite
thing.
something.
Yep.
That doesn't sound good.
Brendan Fraser is probably the best part of it, but it's very main character. But whoa, but the movie itself, while having an interesting concept, they just say that it's just bizarre. I'll leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell that Wendell and Wild is better.
And that movie also has stop motion that actually is that great, so you can see why.
Just like he did for this movie, Wendell and Wild was directed and written by him, so it's better.
I've seen Wendell and Wild as well. It's not my favorite Laika movie, but it's pretty good.
Well, actually, Wendell and Wild is not Laika.
Wait, that was.
Remember, this was the first.
The only Aries' only movie with Laika was this one. After that, Laika went. Nowadays, Laika only makes movies with their own in-house directors. This was back when Laika was starting out, so they needed to get at least one hit movie to, draw in people who wanted to work here. And Harry Selick was a surefire bet, so they asked him, "Hey, want to make a movie for us?" Nowadays, it's either Chris Butler or Travis Knight directing their movies.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Bobinski is played by Ian McShane, and this was 3 years after the Golden Compass. I'm pretty sure he did something else in between. Yeah, of course.
This was before John Wick.
He nearly castrated himself on those shears.
Okay, he played Tai Lung in Kung Fu Panda in between these. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, his jumping might say, "Don't go through the door." That's weird, though. It seemed like there was a mouse coaxing her to go through the door, so what's up with that?
Is that like a bus driver hat? Or...
I think so, or a poster.
Hmm.
One out of the two, yeah. And there's the happy sad face from theater.
Mm-hmm. Jesus.
Hi, doggy.
I'm really hoping Wildwood does make its current 2025 release because we haven't had a Laika movie since 2019.
Oh, is that the name of their next movie?
Yeah, Wildwood. It's also been directed by Travis Knight, the director of
I
Cuba.
think
Problem is, it's taking quite a long time to produce because Laika has to, make ends meet. So they're taking their time.
He also did mention that because I noticed that during commentary of God, that movie with the Yeti or Bigfoot, whatever it's called,
The Missing Link.
Missing Link. Yeah, during the commentary of Missing Link, that they had a bit of child trouble. Jesus Christ.
Missing Link was the last movie that they made with their partnership with Focus Features. After that, they split ways. They made a deal with Netflix, so Wildwood will be coming to Netflix, but it's taking its time.
Also, Jesus Christ, taxiderming every single pet that you had. Like,
there are people who do that, actually.
I never understood what exactly is the appeal of this.
Some people
okay, on paper is the Jesus. What? Okay. On paper, the idea is that you have a way of remembering that and everything. The thing is that there were quite a few of them.
There are also other ways to keep a part of your pet and not have it be like that.
Ever heard of photographs, people?
Especially because taxiderming can produce interesting results.
So as you may have noticed from
reading the future. Go on, Jova, sorry.
As you may have noticed from some of the posters Coraline saw as she walked in, these two ladies have an interesting past with some cabaret aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Word of God, movie-wise, apparently they're a couple now.
Sure.
It's another staple of Neil Gaiman stories. There is a similar, couple of character in the Sandman mythos.
That and Henry Selick as well, because Wendell Wild is also inclusive.
I don't know if they were a couple. Oh, that hand looks familiar. If you notice that lightning strike,
it's like when Resident Evil 6 was revealed, and everyone said, people with Maximilian Channel said, it looks like a jar of being blown by a manatee.
So Jennifer Saunders, around here, she's more famous for being in Absolutely Fabulous, the TV show, among a few other things. She was also in an episode of Thunderbirds Are Go. So, and she had a cameo in Spice World.
Oh, God.
What about Dawn French, the person who plays Miriam? Oh.
Yeah, I would pick Spice World for a commentary, but I can't find a decent version of it anywhere.
She was also in Shrek 2.
Dawn French. She's mainly been on. Well, she's famous for being on The Vicar of Dibley.
Oh, okay.
A UK sitcom that had its last special. Okay, the show started in 1994 and ended with a special in 2020. Yeah, stuff can last a while. She's also in Jammin' Jerusalem, which is known as Clatterford in the United States. Australia's Got Talent as a judge.
So that's an interesting aspect. The doll YB gave Coraline is supposedly older than his grandma, and he found it that way. Even though it looks exactly like her.
Yeah, that's very odd.
Fat Lady in Prisoner of Azkaban, Mrs. Beaver in the first Narnia movie, and more recently she's been in stuff like Death on the Nile with Mrs. Bowers.
Oh. Jennifer Saunders was also in Death on the Nile, surprisingly.
And she was in Sackboy: A Big Adventure as a character named Scarlet.
Like, he keeps saying he feeds this cat every day, but the cat's so skinny.
Maybe he doesn't feed him much.
Wow.
Everyone here is weird.
Quite weird.
Also very random, but when people cosplay Coraline, sometimes, even though she doesn't have it that way through the movie for the most part, people seem to wear the yellow jacket with the hood up. So I always have to do a double take. Is like, is that Coraline or is that Six from Little Nightmares?
I was about to say, yeah, Protagonist for Little Nightmares is actually more appropriate for that.
Yeah, no, I get confused because both are actually very common cosplays. I see them all the time.
I wonder why they do it with the hood up, because Coraline never has her hood up in the movie.
Yeah, and it's definitely Coraline, not Six. So, like, I don't understand.
Interesting choice of orchestra they used for this movie. They used the Hungarian Symphony Orchestra, and they have in nonsense language they have choir pieces done by the Children's Choir of Nice.
Okay, sure.
Oh, and one of them, and the main soloists was a girl who's also called Coraline.
Oh, that's neat.
I hope they didn't pick her just because of the name.
That's just other father. Now it's better father.
Bit
What a
presumptuous.
precise way to call
I've only
him.
known you for like 1 day, madam.
Hello, Moon.
Hi, Moon.
Oh, yeah. For a second, the way everything was just going there, I thought it was going to be like, is this the littlest elf at night?
Get it? Literal hummingbirds. It looks like it came right out of James and the Giant Peach.
This is the sequel to the movie.
Right, if I recall correctly, this sequence with the dad is completely original to the movie. There was way less focus on the other father in the book.
It's just trying to say, to make things look more whimsy, I suppose.
Nothing wrong with that. I'll let you know, right, I'll let you know from the Gecko audience, pretty much every change made from the book to the movie, I'm A-okay with. It's usually done to either A, extend the plot in a relatively good fashion, or B, build off and provide a somewhat different bout. And yes, the garden literally forms her face.
Of course.
Uh-huh.
Nice. I guess.
Okay.
I was kind of weird.
No, I'll pray tell, Dwarves. What exactly about this is weird?
Yeah, I get not liking somebody, but That's kind of fucked up.
You don't say.
You're telling me the world where everybody has buttons instead of eyes is a little bit fucked up?
I think what Dwebs is commenting more is about Coraline's reaction to that, but honestly, Dwebs, it's more of a case
I mean, that's fair.
she's more almost intoxicated by how this new world is to her, or maybe she's just thinking that it's still a dream.
The thing also to consider is that while we're seeing the movie from Coraline's perspective, Coraline herself is a bit of a brat, which, okay, I get it. Moving to a new place, not too happy about it, but, like, you know, she has not been the nicest to YB. And I get it, her parents are a bit on edge, but she has not exactly been helping the situation either. It's understandable, kids get like that, still doesn't change the fact, bit of a brat.
We did see that from pretty much the beginning of the movie as well, so
yeah,
it makes sense.
Okay, who introduced the circus? Willy Wonka.
Okay, this is also a noticeable change from the book. See, in the book, they go for something a little bit more creepy where Bobinski just has a bunch of rats sing for her. And yes, it is creepy there. Here, obviously, they played it up to be a lot more... less creepy. Since people generally find mice cuter than rats anyway.
Yeah, you better not ask him for his opinion. Wifey, what do you think? Ow. He's mute and he's your candy floss holder.
So, Mr. Obisky is a bit more blue in this alternate version. Da Budi da Buddha.
You may notice he has a special medal. That's to indicate he was one of the people from, God, that place in Russia that's got massive air issues.
Let me see.
This is as good as mine on that front.
Ah, right. The medal he's always wears. The medal that he's always seen wearing. That's the medal that was awarded to the first responders in the Chernobyl disaster.
Okay.
Hence the pigmentation to his skin.
Shakespeare Festival. Also, since we didn't talk much about her, actually, the mother, she's played by Terry Hatcher, which we mentioned about Lois Lane from The New Adventures of Superman. She was also in the first Spy Kids, but I don't remember what her character actually is, even if it's written on Wikipedia. Also, Tomorrow Never Dies. Ouch.
Yeah, actually, okay. I like Tomorrow Never Dies.
Same.
But honestly, I thought Terry Hatcher was one of the worst parts of that of that movie. She sounded like she didn't want to be there.
Oh,
and also, okay, you guys have watched the Planes duology. She was the character of Dottie in that one.
Oh
yeah.
God, was that the terrible female plane?
No,
that character was made only for Fire and Rescue. I'm talking about both movies.
No. Dottie's the forklift character.
Oh, right.
So I guess she was forklift certified. Okay.
Yes.
Which is weird when it comes to Tomorrow Never Dies, which is weird considering this is the woman who was one of the main characters in Desperate Housewives.
I'm guessing she's great there.
That's right.
It's more so that like it's just like I don't like that show, and it's just
I was about to say, Joe, but from what I've seen of that show, I really was not impressed.
Oh,
I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great, but I don't know. I mean, she was great A bunch of cool girls
Oh, and she
cheating
was,
with each other or something.
Yeah, basically.
She was Miss Gradenko from the first Spy Kids movie.
Yeah, like I said, I don't remember what her character in that movie was.
Yeah, she was a spy for the villain.
Ah, okay.
Basically, Jova, that's probably one of those shows about shitty people doing shitty things, and that's apparently...
And not even in the funny way like in Seinfeld.
I was about to say.
Or Always Sunny.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Unlike with Seinfeld, it's done with zero hint of irony.
Yeah, it's not
Also,
supposed to be a comedy.
Volkswagen Beetle.
Even for a stop motion animation, we gotta get those sponsorship money.
Yeah. They just literally got the Volkswagen badge on it.
Resourceful girl, aren't you?
Oh no, I understand. Like one thing that my parents were trying to do in order to, when I was getting low grades, was to try to hide the console, gaming console in the house. They were not very good at hiding things.
Yeah. This does not please the cat.
I guess not.
Also, every time I see the cat, I think about Salem from the Sabrina series.
Yeah.
The cat of all time.
Although the one in the stop motion or puppet animatronic one from the live action series looks a bit more different from the one of the comic.
I don't know, Shira. I think I'll take the Baron from the Ghibli duology as the best cat ever.
I'm gonna have to agree with Shiroi on Salem, but the Baron's not bad either.
Okay.
Or how about this? How about Puss in Boots? We'll compromise on that one.
He is awesome, yes.
And yeah, for you Has-Been Hotel fans, this was basically a part of the inspiration from Keith David's character.
Oh, Keith Davidson has been Hotel.
I forgot the name of his character, but yeah, he's also a demon cat. Mind you, the character was voiced by someone else in the pilot, but they managed to get him for
Husk.
For Husk, and he's a doozy.
This VA is this cat too?
Yep.
No.
Keith David.
Neat.
For reference, Keith, I don't know how much of you're familiar with his filmography. Keith David is actually one of the more prominent, African American actor and voice actors. He did a fuck ton of things. So, like,
have you seen Has-Been too?
Yeah, yes, all the first season. But if you know him, Keith David, you know that he will do almost everything. Consequently, he was also in all the bad movies. But as another token, you will see him for a role like this, a talking cat.
Attention span.
Also, I had to double check it. Oh, the cat's scared. I did have to double check in the background. Both Baron and Salem are the cats of all time. They can share.
I say Baron, Salem, and Puss in Boots.
Yes.
Wait, is the PS3 about to start?
This is a version where all the dogs are actually alive.
And not mounted on, the wall. They're all the same type of dog, too.
I know it's the same. I think it's called Scottish Terrier.
A Scotty dog, yeah, I think.
It's the same breed as the one of the dogs from Leading the Tramp is.
Yes.
Of course, kind of need to, reinforce a bit the mythos of Ulysses or Odysseus, having to resist the Song of the Sirens. Of course, the birth of Aphrodite.
Only rated PG over here.
Kind of like people think of Arman, immediately think of Wallace and Gromit or Chicken Run, so they think it's mostly just kids animation. No, they also did have their own share of adult animation too.
Well, to be fair, this is legit a kids film, as was advertised.
Man, Ariel, you really let yourself go.
It's also funny because in the original myth of the Odyssey, the sirens were supposed to be half bird, half woman. Is that possibly due to different language barriers, misconception and mishearing and misreading? The entire thing about sirens being associated with mermaid became just a thing. Wolf. 10 out of 10. I mean, the dog seems to appreciate it.
Yay.
You sure you want to do this?
Well, no better way to end the show.
Of course. Okay, then.
Yep.
Hey, now we're in the circus.
Cool. Audience participation.
I don't know actually what they're coding specifically.
Oh, cool. A magic act, too.
What could possibly go wrong with this world?
Everything is perfect to live, don't you know?
Oh,
All
come
right.
on, Dwayne. You're such a negative Nancy. I mean, come on.
In case you're wondering, in the book, originally it's a much more down-to-earth show that goes on before they appeal to the younger selves, and even then it's mainly just some on-stage acts. Obviously, they made it a bit more over the top for this. Coolio. It's the perfect world. Even old age doesn't have to exist here.
Mm-hmm. And it's pair of buttons. You're not selling.
And they close the door. It's like, kill her.
Literally.
Don't say that. So basically, it's like, yeah, my parents are shit, but at the very least, they don't try and sew buttons into my eyes.
Fuck.
Well, crud.
I killed her.
Mm-mm-mm.
You shut up. So they killed him?
Well, we don't know yet. We'll have to see.
It's like we ran out of
Oh no,
animation
the animation budget
cells.
ran out.
Oh, Coraline, you need to watch some Animal Planet.
Yeah. You'd be surprised.
Yeah.
You just respawn.
It's like a video game.
Actually, yeah, Joe, you talked about the video game, so I guess you know how it is.
I saw a playthrough of it. Was not impressed, but maybe we could do a commentary of it.
Joe, Jesus.
Let me see.
Yeah, okay, so like I hinted at, in the book, the rats were already noticeably a thing. Here, it's a twist that the mice in this world are rats in disguise.
Huh. So the video game was called Coraline, an adventure too weird for words.
Sorry, the video game?
Yeah, the video game is called Coraline, an adventure too weird for words. I'm wondering if that was meant to be a subtitle for the movie at some point.
I wonder. Didn't know that
It
game
came out on the
even had a
PS2
subtitle.
and the Wii. Was developed by Papaya Studio, whoever they are.
From what
There
I
was also a Nintendo DS. Oh, there was also a Nintendo DS version.
have not seen that version. I saw the PS2 version, and from what I've seen, it's mainly mini games connected by some cutscenes and some QuickTime event stuff.
Oh, okay. That doesn't sound very interesting. I will not do that one.
Again, granted, I catched a snippet of it, so maybe there's more to
Papaya
it.
Studio did a bunch of licensed games, and they were not impressed. One of them was the George of the Jungle video game that Kalikers reviewed a bunch of years ago, and that one was bad. Anyway, point is, instead, things are not as we seem. Uh,
1, 3.
Oh, snap.
Just pulling her by the nose?
Yeah, now you're trapped in the mirror world.
Okay, so
Well,
so originally in the book, the change of the other mother is a lot more subtle, where she still looks like her mother, but looks more pale, gaunt, and somewhat skinny. As you can tell in the movie, they made the transformation way more apparent. Still voiced by Terry Hatcher, though.
And we're doomed to be floating around at 5 frames per second.
like I said, Neil Gaiman loves to, be a storyteller and, have either modern versions of storytells or, reinterpretation, completely new stuff. And again, you see this stuff like in Sandman, and this is also no exception.
I love how that one girl
Classic.
has her face literally frozen in absolute terror.
You're doomed to literally be lagging ghosts. Can you imagine a fate worse than that?
I wonder if appearance-wise there was slight potential reference to Lock, Shock, and Barrel.
Now, from what I saw in the graphic novel, the kids aren't as creepy. They're still ghosts. Like, that's probably one of the few things that the graphic novel doesn't do that's creepier than this, because holy cow, is the graphic novel scary. It's got the book's contents
Right.
mixed in with incredibly terrifying visuals.
She decided to put a smile on that face.
Pretty much. Alright, time to go.
also, Shiro, you mentioned about her pulling her by the nose. Well, what would you say is worse, Shiro? Being pulled by the ear or by the nose?
I'd say the nose, honestly.
And yeah, now the passageway is looking more creepy.
Like I said, it seems to be more reflecting an intestine. Whoa. Coraline, I don't feel so good.
Okay,
What
time
can I
to
say? I'm a
fly.
maverick.
The tunnel now looks like something out of Stray.
Stray? I don't recall Stray being that creepy.
It had its moments.
Huh. Hey, Dwebs, I think you'll like to know this. The composer of the video game was Mark Waters, who you may remember as the composer of Doug's first movie, of all things.
Well, the music
random.
was the best part of the movie.
He also did The Pebble and the Penguin and All Dogs Go to Heaven too.
And he was involved in the music for the Aladdin TV series.
Okay, I like All Dogs Go to Heaven too. Pebble and the Penguin is... yeah.
He also did a lot of Winnie the Pooh. Oh, get this, Shiro. He did My Little Pony Dancing in the Clouds. Are you familiar with that one?
No, I don't know what that is.
Might be Gen 2. I don't know.
It's a direct-to-video, or rather direct-to-streaming, I should say, thing, apparently.
Oh, is that the pilot for Gen 6? Maybe?
Let me see. It's an animated feature. Okay, here it is. You're right. Basically, the My Little Pony: A Very Minty Christmas DVD has it as a bonus feature, apparently.
Oh God, that short is terrible.
Sorry, so
Great.
sorry. Sorry,
Well,
which
there
short?
you go then.
Well, A Very Minty Christmas.
Huh. What a name.
Maybe Dancing in the Clouds is better. I don't know. Yeah, he also did Pooh's Ephelump movie. Yeah, he did a lot of Winnie the Pooh work. Oh, he did Krunk's New Groove. Yeah, there's more here. He also did My Little Pony, Crystal Princess, The Runaway Rainbow. What a fucking mouthful of a title. My Little Pony, Crystal Princess, The Runaway Rainbow.
Blame Hasbro. Yeah, I get that the idea is just a bit confused. Ow.
I mean, pretty natural reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh, it wasn't just, get this, Job, it wasn't just Aladdin. He did quite a lot of stuff in the 90s, including The Little Mermaid Show, Tasmania, Marsupilami, Goof Troop, Darkwing Duck, Tiny Toons. They did a lot of TV scores in the 90s.
Very nice.
Mm. Oh no.
Oh, he did music for the Toy Story 3 video game that we commented on.
Poor girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Missing parents.
Yeah. See the future through candies. Oh, is that a Magatama?
Well, Teo, it was either that or through coffee.
To be fair, we used tea before. At the very least, we're not doing the old tradition of using, animal interiors. Yes, that was a thing. Oh.
She literally fashioned models of her parents.
This family is just suffering.
Happy fun times, kids. Happy fun times.
Happy joy, joy, happy joy, joy.
I don't think you're happy.
Feed me, damn it.
No. Jesus Christ. Do cats waking you up really get long to get that close?
Oh, yes.
Mine don't. They're content to just lie around on the seat.
Like, I can imagine they don't have the concept of personal space, but... Oh. Well.
Souple.
That's 7 years of bad luck, Coraline.
Fitting, given where she's gotta go.
Dun 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 dun. Oh, sorry. Well, glass shattering.
Oh, look, a new doll.
It's a double face.
Ah, we're burning alive!
Yeah, like how did you know that burning the doll would have not potentially caused the death of the people attached to the doll?
Don't worry about it.
I guess.
Yeah, just think about it.
I guess
To be
to
fair,
be,
she's already stressed a lot, so maybe she's not had time to think about that stuff like that.
and I guess to be fair, her rationale is if the other mother could have done that with her doll, she'd have done it too. Although it is a bit unclear in both cases how the other mother gets her to home, given how it's later hinted that the other mother has trouble getting into another world as well.
I think she's supposed to be a parallel to, the witch from Hansel and Gretel to an extent. I guess she does have some sort of, supernatural ability outside of the stuff we already saw. Again, if we're also, I'm also reminded a bit of Stephen King's It to an extent. If you don't know, Pennywise is more than just a clown. Sure, he's also a giant spider. I get it, but the point is that he's supposed to be an eldritch abomination that has some sort of psychic type of influence that influences the people in the whole town of Daryl. So maybe they're going with something like that.
Something. It fights with a giant turtle.
Yep, psychic, Stephen King. Makes sense.
But yeah, apparently the being that the other mother is something called a beldam.
Why France? That's very specific.
Because
I don't think anyone involved in this production is French, aside from
the composer.
aside from Dawn having the last name French.
There might have been a throwaway line before, but we didn't pay attention, or we didn't mention something about it. I don't know, like as a joke or something.
Yeah, Java's right. I'm looking at the video game right now, and yeah, this doesn't look very interesting.
Alas.
Again,
But the DS game is all right.
Oh, yeah, I have not seen the DS game, so that maybe, and who knows, maybe if we're really, 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 really bored, maybe we can look at the PS2 version, though. I kid you not. I scoured through that playthrough hoping for even a boss fight, and, well, you technically get boss fights? Jesus.
Well, so far from what I'm seeing here, it's just video games, like you said. So I'm assuming if there is a quote-unquote boss battle,
It might be like the same as Mother Gothel in the Tangle video game.
It's a quick time event.
I want to play a game.
Oh, great.
I miss the era of quote-unquote better licensed games, or at least when they were more prevalent.
Well, that's the thing. I'll explain more later, mostly because we have a climax going on. But it's a bit deceptive. It's a bit deceptive. The real truth of the matter is that each era has a roughly the same kind of percentage of good and bad licensed games. It's just that we may not notice it. I mean, at least it's nice to know that this Bedlam, fella loves to still cook decently, despite the fact that she's still inviting her to saw her fucking eyes.
Well, all the better to fatten up the meal.
Let's not forget, Shio, how even during the golden age of licensed games, we got quote-unquote gems like the Beauty and the Beast Super Nintendo game that we
Honestly,
Four or
well,
five.
And that one Lion King game.
I have to agree with James. Like the NES, Super Nintendo, and Genesis era was around time where you were lucky to actually get a good licensed game.
Tick, tick. So the game is this. If she can find her parents as well as the eyes of the 3 ghost kids in time, she wins. She loses? Well, yeah, she'll stay there forever. One hinting in the plot that I do find interesting is the idea that the other mother maybe doesn't intend initially to eat the kids, but she eventually just can't help herself since she wants to keep them with her forever, in the most literal sense. Some have
The souls aren't enough.
yeah. Some have debated if like she actually legit eats them or just consumes the soul and that's why they're dead. Again, stuff left up to interpretation. So yeah.
Of course, for incorporation, now the garden is much more sinister and creepy.
Also, sure, you forgot how that Lion King game as one of the more unintentionally hilarious moments in Lion King history. Though, good, thanks, Nala. You're pretty cool, for a girl.
Which Lion King game we talking
Funny,
about?
that's
The PS1 game.
Simba's Mighty Adventure.
Yeah,
I like that one, but it does have.
I like it too. It's
Well,
just that,
shit.
it's just that joke is so nice.
Well done, Oddjob.
Everything turns into black and white.
Except for one thing.
Oh, hi.
So once again, it's like in Freakazoid in one of the Gutierrez episodes.
And yes, he is literally turning into a pumpkin. Believe it or
Sorry.
not, this is toned down from how it was in the book and graphic novel. In the graphic novel, he's turning into this weird but creepy looking sludge monster who has just the eyes poking at her, and then even the eyes fall out, and does not help it's an Aceller, and that is extra creepy.
And everything turns to stone.
And yes, thankfully their eyes are more so objects disguised to house their souls.
It's like the Shabriri grape in Elden Ring.
So I guess like in
Good to
this
know.
world...
In the book, were they just straight up the eyeballs of the kids?
No. I think that they were also objects, if I recall correctly, too, which probably makes sense, given how that would kind of be pretty gruesome, even for a kid's, well, especially for a kid's novel, if that was legit, like, the eyeballs left.
Let's check the theater.
I mean, we had Grizzly Tales for gruesome kids, so I don't know.
True, yeah.
The one that taught you if you pretended to be sick to get off school, you'd get a lobotomy.
How about that? Okay. You want to talk about the obscure license game, Shiroi? What if I told you that Sonic Team made an Astro Boy game at one point?
I believe it.
Is that the GBA one where the first act?
No, it was on PS2 and Wii.
Now look at that. It's a
Well,
giant...
it's a 2003 game, so no, it can't be. Sorry, PS2 only. Sorry.
It's a giant piece of taffy candy by the looks of it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the second eye is supposed to be in there, so...
One thing that you'll appreciate, Jova, is that the Sonic Team Astro Boy game is based on the 2003 anime.
Nice. I think that anime was how it was properly introduced to Astro Boy.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yep.
Don't touch it. So it's like the Hand of Glory in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Jesus.
So yeah, it's implied that these things that the denizens are turning into were what they were originally before the other mother gave them life. Which leads to the implication that yes, the other mother is the only other living being in this life.
Mm-hmm. But remember, they even showcased before where, the other, the other Weebly, had one of his hands turned to dust, and so did some of the bugs that were previously hummingbirds. So it's either that or being turned to stone.
I just love that power move that she legit just hangs his body out there as a warning.
Cotton candy.
Also, hi Peach to Ian McShane.
See, the thing is, unlike the previous kids, Coraline has the basic standards of not going through mutilation to stay.
Oh, it's literally one of the eyes of his being. Something
We
more.
are Legion.
Yeah, the classic vermin that walks.
He was literally a bunch of rats in a trench coat.
Shit. We.
Ow.
And she broke a spine.
It's okay, Dweebs. It's a cartoon.
She fell in just the right way and... Ooh.
Stop motion logic.
Oh dear.
Time's a ticking.
Mm?
Hmm.
Good kitty. Yeah, probably best we head inside.
Oh my god, it's Button Moon.
The word is having dandruff, I guess.
Literally
Shit was falling
unwinding.
apart.
At least we're safe inside here. With the other mother,
Somewhat.
who totally just wants to love and not eat us. Okay, now we're just fully in Nightmare Before Christmas, mixed with James and the Giant Peach. said the spider to the fly.
Yeah.
And I'm kidding. The other mother is looking way more spider-like. And if you recall correctly, seeing those hands, yes.
Also very skeletal.
It's their attempt at an Edward Scissorhands cosplay.
Yeah, okay. For a big reason, I'm guessing that's why they made her hands more mechanical. If you recall, those are her hands we saw at the start.
Also, I guess she will be great friends with Dr. Smith in Lost in Space.
Probably. But that's cheating.
Hmm.
Where about that? Detroit Zoo.
That's one of the snow globes that they had.
Mm-hmm.
The Detroit Zoo, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. So that's where all the android animals are, according to David Cage's game.
Yeet!
Cat throw.
Although it's kind of a dick move, but the cat was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Hey, I wasn't ready.
Yeah, that's not how you do it, Coraline. What you do, you have to get what you have to do, Coraline, is you have to get a wrist bow thingy so you can throw the cat at Mach 2.
So see, it's buttonized, so it's okay. It's not gruesome at all.
Oh. Oh dear.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's the thing. Even in real life, the reason why spiders' webs are constructed geometrically like that is because they can feel the vibration if something gets stuck in there.
Mm-hmm. Kick! I hereby declare you a boot to the head. And yes, that does happen in the book too. Her hand legit gets cut off by the door. However, in the book, she's still a lot more human looking. So in that case, the hand is and looks more human. Sorry, nobody's home.
Yeah. Ooh.
Okay, so let's just get a contractor.
Everything's fine, right?
Yeah, let's just get a contractor to seal up this entire room and make it so that it never sees the light of day again.
That just demolish the thing. We're only gone for like 2 hours.
Okay, this is one thing I never get in either version. Despite the fact that her parents were clearly conscious during that, somehow freeing them wipes their memory of the other world.
I guess they wanted to try to have a whole... Again, this was also parallel the whole, oh, you were just imagining potentially things, even if it was that real.
Even though we literally see the snow and ice on their backs.
It's a bit frustrating, yes, and it creates the whole... it has a bit of a shade of gaslighting, both in Alice in Wonderland and Wizard of Oz to an extent.
Not only that, but bit of a plot hole. Wouldn't Spink and Forcible, who did know that they were missing, also comment on them missing? Like, mind you, this was also an issue I had with the original book, and I'll say this. I have never really been a fan of those plots where, oh, the parents never learn the truth, but the kids know, leaving the parents to think that, oh, the kids were just up to mischief.
Well, Jova, you got some variation of that at the end of Neverending Story 2, only for that to be completely forgotten in the third movie.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yay, they got the gloves. That's actually cute.
Yeah, apparently the book turned out well.
And the cat wants her to sell the house and leave.
Well, at least she apologized sincerely. There you go.
So, yeah, sure, adopt the cat. I'm sure your mother will love that.
To be fair, it's a small place, so... And to be fair, it is a cat that is apparently also, in the care of the other kid, so...
And by set them free, I mean rest my head upon them pillow-wise. Oh,
Of
hey,
course,
Van Gogh.
Gog.
And now she's in a Van Gogh painting.
Yeah. This is what
Wait,
happened. This is what happened waves after that episode of Doctor Who with him.
Huh. But there's still 12 minutes of movie left.
Well, they just said she's in terrible danger.
Oh, right.
I don't have to eat the key, do I?
Like she did?
Oh, well. Oh, fuck.
No, it's okay. That means that their spirits are free.
Oh.
Don't kick me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, we should have got the contractor in earlier.
So, yeah, in the book, the hand does come out, but like I said, it is more human looking, at least in the graphic novel,
So it's like Thing from the Addams Family.
only somehow scarier.
Fun fact, possibly for the sake of, I guess making it more obvious, but the carriage I mentioned Thing, in my country, all versions of the story is called just the Hand instead, which, sure, I guess. Fuck.
Force is going to give the middle finger there for a second.
Yes, a movie. I saw Evil Dead.
Okay. So, in the original, since Wyborn wasn't a thing in that, Coraline actually just tricks the hand to try and pounce on her while she's having a picnic over the well. In this version, yeah, we're actually going to get, believe it or not, a fight scene with said hand.
God damn it. Oof.
It's dead, Jim.
Oh yeah, because it works so well with Jumanji.
It did! For a few decades before that thing washed up back up on the beach. And then literally turned into a video game.
Because kids don't know about tabletop these days, duh.
No, not at all. Also, it probably works better here because at least they actually broke the hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Might as well.
I'll tell her that her sister's soul is finally free to go to heaven.
Also, the camera makes it almost look like a 360 shot.
Okay. But yes, the cat was the one who brought Wyborn to help. Well, all's well that ends well. Ignore those
Yeah, even
ominous
the
looking
hands,
clouds. Yeah.
Interesting shaped clouds.
Also on a balloon. What about pink lemonade then?
An entire pizza for a dog. Well, at the very least, there you go. The farmer can actually still do gardening.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Putting
Plenty
in
balls.
beads. So yeah, the mice were like, hey, good job on getting rid of those rats for us.
Let me check who she's played by.
Oh, so much to tell.
Caroline,
Yeah, you might want to sit down. Your old heart might need it.
I hope you like long story. Caroline Crawford, a singer.
Huh,
You
neat.
got her for
The
a few
story-
lines.
The story will last about 94 minutes. Like get comfy.
It just recaps the movie.
Yeah, she's just literally scene by scene.
Fucking smart ass of a cat.
And that's the movie, Coraline.
If I remember correctly, there are no post-credit scenes, so...
You know, if you take out the cat with the tail, it just says Coraline.
I can't even make a Avengers Initiative joke for Focus Feature because I don't know what kind of IPs they normally have aside from these.
Coraline... You know, I could totally see Coraline being leader of the Laika-verse.
Let me check.
Focus
Features also made. Well, Focus Features also made the Book of Henry.
Oh, great.
Wait, wasn't that Universal?
No, remember, Focus Features is Comcast's like C tier.
Okay. So I can then make a proxy and say the Hulk initiative. There you go.
Oh my god.
BC tier level studio.
All right. Final thoughts, I suppose. Libs?
Yeah, I enjoyed the movie. More because it was more so for the animation style. It's really for a motion capture. So a stop motion feature is really smooth.
Especially one back
I
in
wonder what they had to
2009.
do to I wonder what they had to do to get it looking that smooth, considering that Aardman movies still look like they run on a lower frame rate because of how they make it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the music, and it's certainly very imaginative with the floor turning into a spider web and everything. Anything else I can bring up before I end?
The score, I guess.
Yeah, the score's all right. I mean, it fits the movie. Something I don't remember that much, but it certainly fits the movie. I haven't really heard much of the composer's other work.
Mm-hmm.
That's really about it. I had a good time with it.
All right, Pedro.
No, this was pretty good. Not bad for a first effort. On Laika, yeah. It's not my favorite. I think they went on to make better, more sophisticated stories with after this, especially Kubo. but this is definitely a damn fine effort. And yeah, it's pretty creepy. The animation is fantastic. The music is good. And yeah, it's a very basic but still well executed Alice in Wonderland type storyline. So looks really well. Like I do wish it's a good. I do wish Harry Styles had stuck around with Laika a bit more, because I feel like he could have made something in between this and and Wild, because it took him quite a while to make another movie again.
I'll admit, I honestly thought he was in charge of Laika, so it's a surprise to me that Wendell and Wild was apparently the next movie he made after Coraline, and from 2009 to 2022, that's at least 13 years. Over a decade. What was he doing in between then?
I don't know. Maybe Maybe he took a break. I don't know.
Oh, wait. Hold on. According to the wiki page of Wendell and Wild, Selleck began developing a stop-motion animation picture with Key and Peele to star in November 2015. So apparently,
it's a classic case where you can see this story happening a lot of times, because stop motion production a lot of times do require a lot of work, especially if it's a baseball production. So yeah, the fact that it took all those years to make that kind of makes sense if it was really that small, you know.
I guess we at least have an idea of what he was doing from 2015 to 2022. I guess maybe in between Coraline and that point, he was trying to find what would be his next project.
Apparently, he did work with... Wikipedia tells me on his wiki page that he did work with Pixar from 2009 until 2013. Let me see. Apparently, he wanted to make an adaptation of another Neil Gaiman book, The Graveyard Book. But I guess not much happened. So yeah, I did work for Pixar for a while before doing Wendell and Wild. Anyway, and you're done, Pedro?
Yes. But well, basically, Joe, like I've always took it that Travis Knight got Henry Selick to help them set up the studio, because he was far more experienced and they could really use his help. So basically, Henry was hired to basically help the studio start up and properly, and probably like as a mentor figure to the younger animators.
Also, that's cute. At the end of the credits, they show some of the stop-motion works.
Mm-hmm. Also, Sheer, you were mentioning the resemblance to Little Nightmares. Apparently, Henry Selick actually has been picked to actually direct at least the pilot and at least a bunch of episodes of the TV series we're working on it.
Ah, neat.
Yeah.
It is a good match.
Yeah. Sure. The style of those games, like, it makes a lot of sense.
Indeed.
All right.
So that's basically it. Go on, Jova.
I love this movie. It's easily one of my favorite Laika films. Now, for what is my favorite Laika film that I've seen so far, since I still have yet to see Kubo, but I've seen pretty much all their other movies, Coraline, Paranorman, The Box Trolls, and Missing Link, I'd say for what's my favorite, it's probably a toss-up between Coraline or Missing Link. I love Box Trolls, but Missing Link has both the comedy while also being Laika's most advanced film, and dear God does it show in the effects department, or just how grand the whole thing is. Coraline is the movie I like probably best story-wise, whereas Missing Link is, well, again, it being their most up-to-date movie, has some of my favorite action or, like, pretty much just movie in general from them. Box Trolls, to me, is probably their funniest, potentially. It depends. I mean, granted, pretty much they have not missed yet. Sadly, I can't say the same for them in the box office, which is really a shame that their first film is still their most successful one.
Personally, I think Paranorman is the funniest Laika movie.
Also, it's because mostly of bad timing. Almost constantly, they have something, that goes up against them and punches them at the box office.
Coraline, though. Coraline is definitely what I consider one of Laika's best. It works as its own movie. It works as an adaptation. Like, it keeps the spirit well and truly good and consistent, while adding some new changes and extensions to it, which pretty much I all dig. Like, it's one of those cases where, yeah, all the changes I am completely fine with. If anything, there was one other change I would have liked them to change, and at least have it be that the parents acknowledge the fact that they were kidnapped, since, yeah, again, they clearly were aware of that while they were kidnapped, and it's never explained why they just forget, and why it's just them that forget, since everyone else involved seems to remember. Now, from what I can recall, that was an issue in the book as well, so that's not necessarily, a movie original problem. I've just really never been a fan of the whole, parents never figure out that kids were telling the truth thing because of this or that. But I digress. The music is good, charming for when it needs to be, haunting and terrifying also at the right moments here. And I love how the visuals work all connected, even when things shift from gray and gloomy to colorful and bright to suddenly a bit more life-filled in the real world, to the point where, oh my god, this other world is flipping terrifying. It's a perfect cycle, too, because you see a slight evolution in senses all over that. They're all the same places, but as Coraline's perspective shifts, so does ours along with her.
Mm-hmm.
The dialogue's all keen and well, the acting's on point. Yeah, no, this is pretty much a pristine stop-motion animation feature. It speaks volumes that it is one of the highest grossing of that variant, too. They did not miss. Helps that they had a dream team and they put it to work.
2009 was also the starting period, if I remember correctly, where since 3D animation was starting to gain traction more and more, and people were, and since it was not always on Pixar or DreamWorks level quality, people were actually claiming for something that, would have been, equally interesting, but not necessarily 3D animation, because, as Pedro mentioned, this was also the year of Princess and the Frog, which was trying to get a return to 2D animation. So,
which, thankfully, was enough of a success that they did go again with Winnie the Pooh 2011.
What I mean, Joe, is that, it managed to... It's probably the reason why this movie also managed to have a decent enough box office.
2009 really was a year for animation of all types, wasn't it?
Also for movies in general, because I mentioned this when we did the original Speed Racer, but I did check for properly at least, aside from a few specific exceptions like The Dark Knight or Iron Man, 2008 really was a year of bad movies. So yeah, this world of cinema needed to heal the year after.
So, yeah, absolutely spectacular film.
Alright, I'll go next. No, this is still solid. I don't remember what my opinion was for the original commentary, but I'm pretty confident that I liked it even back then. I have to admit, I haven't seen the entirety of Laika's, catalog. I've seen Box Trolls, and of course, I've seen Kubo. Which currently is my favorite movie of them. Although, fun fact, for some reason, in my country, this movie is called Coraline and the Magic Door. Which, sure...
If I recall correctly, some versions were called that.
Which, I can tell you that the original, story from Neil Gaiman is just called Coraline even in my country. The extra bit was added specifically for the title of the movie. Which, like I said, it's technically something that happens in the movie, but... I don't think we needed it. Again, I do wonder what people in tuxedos in high places smoking cigars in the entertainment industry think about when they have to think about what is the most marketable thing that we can use.
Would you prefer the subtitle from the game, An Adventure Too Weird for Words?
It would be something that Neil Gaiman would write as a title. So it is on brand. Anyway, for this movie, again, even if I just said that, it's not my favorite of the Laika movie I've seen, it's still very solid. I'm also a fan of Neil Gaiman's works, and you can tell that the influence is technically there from the original story in some capacity. Maybe you can make an argument that the pacing towards the climax goes maybe a bit too fast. But again, you have to remember this is a small studio and it's stop motion animation, which requires a lot of sweat and blood poured by all the people involved. So you're going to need to cut some slack for the people involved with this. The voice acting is fine across the board. Ian McShane with a Russian accent is bizarre, especially when the Legion equivalent, gets to have a high-pitched voice. Keith David as the cat. Actually, did the cat was even got a name? Let me check. I don't remember them mentioning in the movie.
I'm pretty sure it's just referred to as the cat. If I'm
the
yeah,
cat.
I don't think there's a name.
Capital C. Okay. But yeah, everyone is actually on point. Again, I made a joke about Dakota Fanning, but she's also good for the role. And again, as a story, as a sort of a modern interpretation of classic fairy tales like Hansel and Gretel, it's still solid enough. You can definitely see the parallels, but at the same time, you can also see where originality gets poured into it. So it's not like a case of saying, oh, it's a ripoff, but more of a trying to tell something similar to what those fairy tales did back then, just in a more modern, potentially, context, a bit like what Edward Scissorhands was doing, like we mentioned,
On that note,
to different degrees of success leading the water. Anyway, like I said, the score is technically fine, but it really screams of, again, maybe it's just my feeling, but it really screams to me of we really wanted Danny Elfman, but we could not get it, so we have to work with what we have. Because maybe it's because, it works so well with The Nightmare Before Christmas and Henry Selick, working on that. But it really feels like they wanted to have Danny Elfman for the scores of this. But it's technically still fine on its own. I don't think I know that much of the experience of this French composer, but it perfectly works just fine. I'm pretty sure that's it. Again, art is good. Voice acting is good. Music is good. Technically, story is good. It's also pretty much contained. I would have been interested to. Not necessarily to see a continuation of this, maybe as a distant, something still connected with the mythos set in the same world, but without having to necessarily be a direct sequel to this, but it's still pretty, cool as it is. And like I said, at least from what I've seen, it can be applied basically the same to all of Laika's catalog. Really wish people went to see more of the movies in theaters. I don't remember the marketing of this one for my country, so I think I remember it, but back then I did not pay too much attention. I remember definitely the marketing for Kubo. Yes, that one actually did add it. Not so much for Paranormal and Box Trolls, and Missing Link was not meant much either. So when I hope when Wildwood comes out, it will be actually, a bit better market than it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Shiri.
Oh, this is a fantastic movie. It looks great. Like, even the new characters that were movie exclusive, like, I could have gone my whole life without knowing that, and I don't think it would have taken away from the movie. I still think that they fit right in. Maybe they thought having more than one, like, lead of sorts would probably help the movie pace a little better. I don't know, but everything works out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just a really enjoyable movie. I guess I don't know what else to say about this. Everyone else pretty much covered it. So.
All right then. Well,
Okay.
maybe we'll get back to the rest of the Laika catalog at some point. You guys already did Paranorman, so there is that. Who knows? Maybe I'll pick Kubo at some point. Genuinely love that movie.
And I don't think we covered Box Trolls yet either. And like I said, it's been, I think, a while since we did Missing
I don't think
Link
I've
as
even
well.
seen that one.
Mm-hmm. And as Jove and Pedro mentioned very eloquently, unless the DS game turns out to be a masterpiece, which I seriously doubt, don't expect the video game. See ya.
Not from me, at least.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.
See ya.